It's children. Why mess with kids? Why mess with anybody?
Tonight, a mom helps police track down gunmen after her middle school kids are robbed on their way to class.
The suspects found right in the middle of committing another crime.
Parents here paying big, more than $1 million for kids skipping school. But now there's an effort to cut the kids and their parents a break.
Want to make $100,000 a year without a high school or college diploma? The job's open right now in Houston.
Plus, Lamar High School's kicker almost didn't make the team, but he's got game, and you'll get a kick out of his unusual signature move.
Live, KHOU 11 News starts now.
Well, you may think it's chilly outside now, but just wait. Freezing temperatures are on the way.
We are beginning with David Paul and late word on when it'll feel like we're in the deep freeze. Dave?
Here's the deal. It's cold out there right now. I mean, look at this live shot. Moody Gardens in Galveston, Weatherbook Network. It's 47. Northeast wind at 23. It's gusting to 28. It feels like it's in the low 40s and upper 30s out there right now. So it's, well, some might say it's a miserable evening. I love this weather. Oh, and it's raining down here, too. Take a look at HD Doppler. Rain on the coast. There's more of that coming. We'll zoom in down there in just a minute. So here's the deal. Coming up, I'll walk you hour by hour through what may end up being kind of a wet and cold and windy commute. I'll show you those bad spots. Freezing Friday. But that's only the first of several freezing mornings we have coming up. And early next week is when I think we'll feel those temperatures that feel like it's in the teens with more cold air on the way. I've got a lot to show you coming up in a couple of minutes.
Okay. Thanks, Dave.
So what would you do if your kids were robbed at gunpoint on their way to school? We talked with a Houston mom tonight who hit the streets to find these guys who attacked her children.
Yeah, she's telling us just how she helped police track down the bad guys. Drew Caritas is live in East Houston with the story. Drew.
Well, Lisa, Greg, her kids, both students at Holland Middle School, were robbed right here. The gunman jumping out of a car, and it wasn't long before Mom was on their trail.
There's a lot of kids in this neighborhood that walk to school. Half of the school walk.
Her two kids were easy targets for two guys with guns who demanded everything they had.
Like that.
11-year-old Anthony Anderson says one of the suspects held a pistol to his head.
And these are like, I'm gonna shoot you if you don't give it to whatever you got. I said, I don't have nothing.
The thugs, wearing masks, bandanas, and hoodies, then turned to his 13-year-old sister Alexis and their friend, stealing both of their cell phones and backpacks.
You're stealing from some kids and all that kind of stuff, when you could be working hard and getting your own stuff.
The kids reported the robbery to school officials.
As a mother, it feels, like you can't do, what can you do? I mean, we trust our kids in walking to school. We trust them to be safe.
Clarissa Manuel started playing detective as soon as she found out.
First thing I thought was maybe I can track Alexis' phone.
And she did, helping to lead Houston police to a house on Broadstairs Street, less than a half mile from where the robbery happened. Officers arrived to find a burglary in progress.
There was a teenage girl. The police had their guns drawn and told her to get out of the car.
Witnesses say the teen girl who was sleeping in the suspect's car was detained, but the two young men seen breaking into the house escaped out the back door. The homeowners were at work.
I hope they get caught, especially for what they did to the middle school people.
Police pulled a number of belongings out of the suspect's car and dusted for fingerprints. Manuel hopes they have enough to catch the criminals who preyed on her kids.
How dare you rob children and break into people's homes? Get a job.
And letters were sent home to parents of Holland Middle School students. Manuel says even if police do make arrests, her kids will no longer be walking to school. Reporting live in East Houston, Drew Caritas, KHOU 11 News.
All right, Drew, thank you. Now to some breaking news out of Southeast Houston. The University of Houston is sending out an alert that a man with a knife tried to rob a student on Holman near the campus. The school says that student refused to give up anything and the guy ran off. No one was hurt.
We are learning more tonight about a 14-year-old girl who says that she was sexually assaulted in a boys' bathroom at Bel Air High School. Students tell us the alleged attack happened last month and involved 9 boys. She told investigators some are from the football team and claims they assaulted her and then took pictures. Parents are upset because they were notified about the investigation well after they heard it on the news. Students tell us some of the boys allegedly involved have been suspended, but HISD has not confirmed that.
A man accused of stealing a squad car and firing at police is in custody tonight after neighbors refused to let him get away. This all began when HPD responded to a report of the man loitering at a motel on Hempstead near Antoine. Police say he fired at them, then managed to jump into an empty squad car and take off. He crashed into a tree about 10 minutes later, and when he stumbled out, Good Samaritans held him for police. No one was hurt.
7 people are hospitalized tonight after a fiery 3-car crash in the Acres Homes neighborhood. Now, according to witnesses, the driver of a tan Buick was just hauling down Victory Drive as fast as 80 miles per hour when he crashed into 2 cars, pushing them into a utility pole. A Houston police officer saw that crash in his rearview mirror and, with the help of bystanders, pulled the speeding driver from that burning wreckage. Police say that he appeared to be under the influence of something.
Now to parents on the hook for letting their kids play hooky.
The KHOU 11 News I-team discovered moms and dads shelling out more than $1 million in the past 2 years for not getting their kids to school.
But should cutting class even be a crime? Jeremy Rogalski investigates.
In Houston's East End,
Lieutenant Davila, sir.
Lieutenant Moises Davila's beat
Pull me out at 612 truancy.
is bigger than burglars and break-ins.
They're skipping a lot of school.
He's patrolling his community's future.
Try to get them into class.
But this truancy officer is not just targeting kids who cut class.
Okay.
He's after mom and dad, too.
We don't want them to file any court order.
At this home, the parent gets off with a warning.
To be more responsible.
But the stakes are much higher than that.
It's just a rude awakening. They need to realize what the consequences are.
I need you to take everything out of your pocket.
They're criminal consequences.
Walk through the middle to take something.
Where the parent is on the hook, charged with a misdemeanor for contributing to their child not attending school. 10 unexcused absences in 6 months' time, and you're called into court.
The fines are punishable up to $500.
And the I-team found fines and court fees are adding up big time. Nearly 28,000 parents charged have paid out almost $1.4 million over the past 2 years.
I think it's ridiculous.
But not without brushback from moms like Felicia Howard.
I am a single parent with no money. I don't have money to pay court costs and fines.
And Elizabeth James.
I had to pay $200 out of my pocket.
Do you have $200 to blow?
No. No, I do not.
At the end of the day, the choice is up to you.
But money is not the driver, says Judge Russ Ridgway.
If they do everything right, they owe the court no money.
So this is not one strike and you're out?
No, absolutely not.
Judge Ridgway says parents and students are usually given a second chance to shape up before imposing fines.
There's a different direction that they can go, and that direction is really positive.
Still, there is a movement underway at the state capitol.
This should not be a crime.
To decriminalize truancy and return to the days of making it a matter of student discipline. Derek Cohen is with the Texas Public Policy Foundation.
We tend to produce more harm than good. A child who's involved in the criminal justice system for whatever reason, especially if it is a low-risk kid, has nowhere to go but down.
Otherwise, a warrant will be issued at the end of the day.
But without the harsh wake-up call the current law provides,
shows all their absences.
Those on the beat of our kids' future say,
we'll have more kids walking the streets, more robberies, more vehicle break-ins, more theft.
More crime and less outreach to get on the right track.
There is hope for kids here. We just have to show them the way.
Now, Texas is one of only 2 states in the nation to criminalize truancy, according to the Public Policy Foundation. The group hopes to change that when lawmakers go into session after the new year. Jeremy Rogalski, KHOU 11 News.
And if you're struggling to get your child to school, join us tomorrow on KHOU 11 News this morning. We'll let you know about help that's out there and where to get it.
The family of Thomas Eric Duncan, a Liberian man who brought the first documented case of Ebola to the United States, has reached a settlement with the hospital where he died. Duncan's family has been critical of the way Texas Health Presbyterian handled his case. He was initially sent home from the hospital with antibiotics, but returned 2 days later and was diagnosed with Ebola. The hospital will pay his family an undisclosed amount and set up a charity in his name to fight Ebola in Africa.
A pest control crew reached new heights to remove a beehive in Katy. It was buzzing on a busy bridge at Queenston and Little York. A lot of kids use that route to get to and from school. Gotcha Pest Control says they received several calls about that hive.
Every job's different. I get strange calls every day. And I have to go check them out because sometimes I don't believe them. But I'm starting to believe them more every day.
Keeping him busy. This hive was filled with honeybees, which are vital to the environment. They were taken to a beekeeper in Fort Bend County.
Got him again.
That's right.
Our Houston Texans are getting ready for their first game in 2 weeks, this Sunday in Cleveland against the Browns.
But even in Week 11, there is still a lot we don't know about the Texans starting lineup. Bob Allen is here with more on that.
Yeah, Lisa, Greg, we got a hint that the Texans may get a familiar face or two back in the lineup Sunday in Cleveland. Bill O'Brien said today that both Jadeveon Clowney and Brian Cushing practiced and looked like they got around pretty well. Arian Foster still being called day-to-day, but he said today he plans to play. Big question mark is Ryan Mallett, making his first NFL start in his 4th season in the league. We will hear from all of them later in sports. And major surgery today for a Houston sports legend. Tell you about that coming up later.
We'll be back to find out who.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Well, do you want a high-paying job, but you don't have a diploma? You're living in the right city.
What luck. Up next, the list of jobs that'll get you $100,000 a year.
He was late trying out, but when you see this Lamar High star kick, you'll know why he still made the team.
Here's a left-footed Asian kicker from Nebraska that had moved in from Burma.
The player who's getting teammates and fans fired up.
Plus, a pregnant panhandler sparks outrage after her cover is blown.
Click, send, turn.
There it is. Wow.
How thieves, stalkers, anyone can unlock your home, your office with one simple picture.
That's kind of scary.
The one thing you can do to protect yourself. KHOU 11 News is watching out for you Thursday at 10.
It's tough to find a good job to support a family without a diploma, but we found workers here in Houston making $60,000 to $100,000 a year without ever graduating high school. Our Doug Miller went to see how they're doing it and where the jobs are new tonight.
In a manufacturing shop in Spring, Omar Gonzalez works as a machinist.
We make parts for the oil rigs.
He makes enough money to support a family with 3 kids, and yet he has only a junior high school education.
I didn't have very much. I knew about tools, I knew about drawings.
You see, Houston suffers from a severe shortage of so-called mid-skill workers, people like welders and machinists doing jobs that don't require a college degree. But believe it or not, about 21% of Houstonians over the age of 25 never even earned a high school diploma or a GED. For Latinos, it's almost half, 47%.
That's the bad news. The good news is you don't necessarily need a high school diploma to get a job in a place like this.
And the boss here says he pays most of his welders and machinists between $18 and $25 an hour.
Just go and find some technical training that you can immediately take to develop the mastery of a skill.
For these jobs, even people without high school diplomas can get trained and certified at local schools like Lone Star College or the Houston Community College.
That's the good thing about our programs is that we're actually focusing on people who don't have high school diplomas or GED.
With Houston adding an estimated 74,000 new middle-skilled jobs every year, this is a big opportunity.
Those workforce certificates can be a real door opener to people who are now working 2 and 3 jobs making minimum wage.
Just ask Omar Gonzalez, who landed his job after taking classes at Lone Star College.
Well, there is a lesson behind this. I want to teach my kids that you're never too old to learn something new.
And as Houston's economy booms, even a little education can pay off big. In Spring, Doug Miller, KHOU 11 News.
Hard work and dedication can take you a long way.
That's right.
Which leads us to our high school football playoffs, and the game of the week kicking off this week on Friday night features Lamar taking on Seven Lakes out in Katy.
The Lamar Texans have had a great season, thanks in part to their kicker.
Yeah, he is drawing some attention for more than how far he can kick the ball. Our Daniel Gotera has his story.
It's rare for a kicker to stand out during any football game. But when the Lamar Texans take the field, you'll see number 81 place the ball on a tee, then do something different. A simple bow to his teammates. And if you're wondering why, all you have to do is meet him.
Hi, I'm Visit Call, kicker from Lamar High School.
You see, Visit isn't your typical kicker for many reasons.
Here's a left-footed Asian kicker from Nebraska that had moved in from Burma.
When he was 8, his family moved to Omaha, and last year they relocated again, this time to Houston.
We came here during the summer to enroll in the school, and one of the coaches was like, "Oh, you can't try out anymore. It's already 3 weeks, in." So I was like, my heart just fell.
I started thinking, I wonder who this guy really is.
He said, "Come next morning to try out," and that's how I started.
Wearing his golden spikes, Visit has become the team's kickoff specialist. He's also the punter and kicks field goals occasionally.
I'm kind of proud that I'm the only one of the only kickers that are Asian, in this town.
Which brings us back to that bow.
It started when last year, when we're in the summer practice, Coach Schultz was like, "Oh, you're Asian, so you should do a bow." So we just started doing that from then.
It's the ultimate sign of respect.
I think they think it's cool because a lot of people do it with me when we do the bow.
It's caught on. Our fans are starting to do it. You'll see a lot of fans at the game. They'll actually stand up and they'll bow.
Visit hopes to take his bow to college next year, but it all started at Lamar, a place that gave him a chance to show he's more than just a kid who can kick the ball pretty far.
We wouldn't trade him for anything.
At Lamar High School, Daniel Gotera, KHOU, 11 Sports.
Love his story.
Man, when you have skills like that, it's great being the new kid at school.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good for him. All right, tonight, talking weather, we found people bundled up around town with that cold chill in the air.
Armani Basu is live in the Montrose to show us how people are getting ready.
Greg and Lisa, cold and kind of windy, as you can see. All right, so tonight is not going to be as cold as it's going to be in the next couple of days. But let me tell you this, people who don't even know each other, strangers, were huddled up at this bus stop just trying to stay warm. It's that time of year again. It's time to stack up on firewood and layer up. Tell me what you have on.
Jeans, long socks, skirt, 2 pairs of underwear, 2 t-shirts, and 2 coats.
It's cold. I love it. It could be a tad colder, but yeah, I'm digging it.
Careful what you wish for. Later this week, temperatures will be dipping into the 30s and 40s. What are you drinking to keep yourself warm?
It's actually a hot chocolate. First one of the season.
Cody Newton will be drinking a lot of hot chocolate and laying back.
Stay inside, build a fire.
Build a fire and time to pull out those ugly sweaters.
We got to get them all out, got to clean them up, wash them up, and just get them ready.
Lots of scarves, jackets. It's a reason to go shopping.
All right, so some other folks we spoke to say, you know what, the cold weather is coming and it's a perfect reason to snuggle up next to their loved ones. All right, so for now, we are live in the Montrose area. Melanie Basu, KHOU 11 News.
All right, Melanie, stay warm. It's the chill.
Warming my hands on the studio
I know.
lights in here.
We're feeling it, David Paul, and there's a freeze watch ahead of us here.
There is a freeze watch, but more importantly, did Melanie just issue a snuggle alert?
I think she
did.
She did.
It's official now.
It's official. Snuggle up. If you're laying in bed watching us with your loved one, just snuggle up to them right now while I show you this cold and wet and windy weathercast that hopefully just has you snuggled up in bed or on your couch right now with a big blanket on. First off, freeze watch has been issued for tomorrow night into Friday, but notice this, it includes all of southeast Texas, even the coastal counties except for Galveston County. So everybody inland has a chance of freezing tomorrow morning. So get ready to bring in that potted plant. Temperature 47 at Bush, Pearland 51, 40 in College Station. Factor in the north wind, which is at 15 to 20, gusting to 25 right now. And it feels like 31 in College Station, feels like 42 in Sugar Land. It is windy and cold out there, and it's getting rainy. Light rain on the coast continues now. Galveston getting the pitter-patter of some raindrops. So is Texas City, Santa Fe, and Alvin as well. You can see Galveston, it's coming right on up the coast. So you're going to see rain off and on, and that may linger into the morning as the buses roll for school tomorrow morning. Palacios, East Matagorda Bay, Bay City. See, that's coming up toward Four Forks, Wild Peach Village, so this will be coming up the coast all night as well, and that's why Galveston, you may have to deal with some rain for the bus stop tomorrow morning. Future Track picks up on this. There's that rain. It's light, but by 4 a.m. it's there from Hobby South to Galveston, so expect some rain showers coming up the Gulf Freeway tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. This should come to an end as we head toward noon tomorrow, and then watch. See how skies clear in the late afternoon and evening? That will be key to allowing temperatures to drop to freezing for Friday morning. Hour by hour in the morning. Lows in the upper 30s, 20% rain chance on the coast with a north wind at 15 gusting to 20. Still a 10% rain chance by 10 o'clock. Then I'll exit rain chances. Highs tomorrow only in the 40s. Now keep in mind we ought to be in the 70s this time of the year, so it's way below normal. Now, where you live, Huntsville you wake up to 35, Hempstead wakes up to 38, so it's 30s on the north side. In Houston you'll wake up to 39, Pearland wakes up to 40, and there could be some light rain, especially on those coastal counties tomorrow morning. Oh, and by the way, the cedar pollen has me sneezing and coughing, and that's up at the Facebook page. We're in the chilly air, but another batch of even colder air is coming over the weekend. Sunday afternoon, a front comes in with a rain chance, maybe some flurries near Dallas, no big deal up there. And then freezing again for us Monday and Tuesday. Look at the extended. So tomorrow, high of only 48, chilly day. Friday's not bad, 30 in the morning with that freeze and 53 in the afternoon. Saturday, increasing clouds, 40% rain chance, and then it's Sunday morning that we begin to turn colder with a good chance for rain. Temperatures will drop through the 50s into the upper 40s Sunday afternoon, so as you're watching the football game, it's going to be windy, rainy, and cold. Monday morning's a freeze at 30. Tuesday morning's a freeze at 29. And then we'll moderate to 63 by Wednesday afternoon. Full-blown winter by Houston standards the rest of the next 5-6 days.
Old man winter has arrived.
Came in with a blast, didn't he?
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Still to come, a pregnant woman spotted begging for money, and what she did next has people outraged.
There are a lot of people out there struggling tonight, panhandling on the streets of Houston, and your heart really goes out to them, which is why this story has so many people outraged.
It really does. Take a look at why. These are photos of a pregnant woman panhandling with her young son in San Diego. A passerby snapped these photos after spotting the mother at one corner, then hopping into a brand new Mercedes-Benz and driving to another corner to keep begging.
Next thing I know, she picks up this big boulder about this big, goes over her head. So I don't know if pregnant people can do that, but it was pretty big over her head and coming at me with this rock. I feel bad, like, don't give these people money. They don't need it. They're driving a Benz.
What's more, that Benz is registered to someone living in a luxury apartment. Homeless advocates say it's best just not to give money directly to people, but instead to shelters instead.
Terrifying moments for two window washers trapped on a platform dangling off the side of One World Trade Center today. A cable holding their scaffolding malfunctioned. Look at that, leaving the platform suspended 68 stories up in a near vertical position. Firefighters used a diamond saw to cut through 3 layers of glass to pull the workers through the window to safety. They were taken to the hospital with mild hypothermia, but are expected to be okay.
Quite the high-wire act.
Yeah.
Coming up, are Ryan Mallett and the new-look Texans ready for the first-place Cleveland Browns? Bob is next with sports.
Now, KHOU 11 Sports Director Bob Allen.
Texans hit the field today to start installing the game plan for the Browns in Cleveland on Sunday. The big storyline of this game, of course, Ryan Mallett's debut as the evaluation begins to see if he fits into the team's long-term plans at quarterback. And at the moment, they really don't have long-term plans. Something of interest here is that both of the starting quarterbacks in this game were backups to Tom Brady in New England when Bill O'Brien was offensive coordinator with the Patriots.
I read somewhere that this was labeled the Brady Backup Bowl or something like that.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it speaks to their work ethic and I think what they've been able to accomplish. They both overcome quite a bit in their career. So it'll be fun to see. We play at 8 o'clock, so I'm sure a lot of guys from our team will be paying attention.
Brian Hoyer was second string, and Mallett was a rookie out of Arkansas. Mallett says he and Hoyer developed a friendship in their time there.
He's a good dude. I didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. Besides at the stadium, he's married, he got kids, so that's not my role, So, but I'm saying he's a good football player. He's a great guy. He's a great person, on and off the field. So, they got a good quarterback.
Some encouraging injury news in that both Brian Cushing and Jadeveon Clowney practiced today and should be able to go on Sunday.
Yeah, those guys, they practiced today, and I thought they moved around pretty well. So, I still would put them in that day-to-day category. We'll see how they feel in the morning, but it looked decent today, that's for sure.
J.J. Watt was asked if any of his friends back home gave him any grief about being on the covers of Sports Illustrated and ESPN, the magazine.
That's what's great about my friends from back home is they're very proud, and they've seen all the hard work and they've seen everything, and so it's really cool to be able to share these experiences with them because, there's not too many people that you can call on your phone and say, man, did you see that? How cool was that? Without sounding like you're arrogant or something.
Rockets and Timberwolves in Mexico City tonight. Dwight Howard back in the lineup for Houston, and early on, he gets a pass underneath, slams it home, and would draw the foul. And then on the break, Jason Terry to James Harden for the basket and the foul. Right now, the Rockets lead the T-Wolves 53-49 at halftime. And tonight, thoughts and prayers going out to Houston racing legend A.J. Foyt, who underwent successful triple bypass surgery at St. Luke's Hospital today. AJ admitted to the hospital Friday with chest pains. Blockages were later found. Today the surgery was performed. We know he'll be out soon and be just as ornery as ever.
Yeah. Our best to Super Tex.
Yep.
Thanks, Bob.
Up next, how a Lucky Fans detective work won her free tickets to see the Eli Young Band.
One lucky fan is going to this weekend's Eli Young Band concert for free, thanks to a little detective work.
Yeah, this afternoon, the band tweeted a clue about where to find a pair of tickets that they had hidden somewhere in Houston. This young lady right here, Norma Pineda, followed the clue and found the tickets at the We Love Houston sign on I-10 near the Heights.
I mean, I seen on their Twitter they announced it, but I didn't know. I didn't think they were going to be here anymore. It's really cool. I've never won anything, so it's a first.
Congratulations, Norma, who will be there to see Eli Young Band perform Saturday at Minute Maid Park.
Very nice.
A concert is great. A free concert is even better.
Yeah.
You got to solve a mystery.
That's right.
Wow.
What a tip. We never would have done it.
No.
Have a good night.
We'll see you tomorrow.
I'd rather have somewhere in California.